Lou Orlando here with Week 4 of the Fordham Football Ram Roundup, joined by head coach Joe Conlon. Coach, pretty spectacular effort from your defense last week. 2 pick sixes for the first time in program history and a lot of third down stops in the second half. What did you see from the fight of those guys, especially in the back portion of that game?
With a lot of the off days coming up in this month, you guys don't need to go with a full rotation if you don't want to. But when you see Randy pitch like that, do you get tempted to give him a couple more starts?
Your manager talked about how cool it was to have Yankee Stadium explode today, the fans the way they were. What did that feel like on the field and in the dugout?
Ends up being a big day for Johnny, and you've always spoken very highly about him. What can you say about the way he's played lately?
Lou Orlando, Nick Guzman, Chaz McAdams. We're here with Fordham Athletic Director Charles Guthrie. It's the introductory presser for Fordham men basketball new head coach Mike McPio. I guess, Charles, I'll start with, what was this search process like, and how does Mike rise to the top of that crop? As we're talking about the changing landscape of college basketball, one of the things you're starting to see in the A-10 is the emergence of general managers. Woj goes to Bonaventure, Steph Curry just signed McDavidson. Is that something you'd like to see Coach Mike look into in terms of, can there be a GM at Fordham? Joined by graduate student linebacker Mike Courtney. Mike, you look at what the defense did last week. 2 pick sixes for the first time in program history. All those third down stops. What do you see from the fight of those guys? We talked a little bit last week about the D-line shaping into form, and now you get your first 3 sacks of the season. One of them comes from John Scott. That's his first career. I'm curious what you thought of, again, the evolution of that D-line, the pressure they're starting to get.
You talked about how much you loved Bonaventure. It was part of the reason you came back and took this role. And we hear so many great things from alums that talk about Bonaventure. You see the fans come out, even here in the Bronx, miles away from Ole in New York. What has Bonaventure meant to you? What do you think it means to this alumni fan base? Can you speak a little bit about how just impassioned it seems the Bonnies fans are?
Obviously, the NIL era has changed a lot, but when you look at the A-10 and the teams that have turned themselves into consistent programs, I think right now probably all agree that VCU has been the gold bar, because you look at, they've changed coaches a few times. Yeah. They've had completely different rosters, and it still feels like you can lock them in. They're going to be a top 4 team in the A-10. In an era of basketball where you can go 2 seasons, and as you said, you might have a completely different roster. You might have to rely on older, experienced guys. How do you create culture when the faces are going to change?
This year, Evan and I, we've been following James Conway's pursuit of your career tackling record, the Patriot League tackling record. He tied your record 2 weeks ago against Colgate. We talked to Coach Conlon. He said, there's no one that wants Jimmy to break that record more than yourself. Just take us into that relationship and what it's been like to have a teammate chase one of your own records.
I want to talk about analytics, because it feels like every place you've been at, I mean, the quote from Kyle Smith was that at Columbia, you completely revolutionized their analytics. I've heard similar things at all your different stops. I don't need to know any of the trade secrets or anything like that. I'm more curious about, where is analytics at in college basketball right now? Like, is it fully here? Are most programs completely dug in on analytics at this point?
I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a lot of parallels between this team and 1994, the President's Trophy, eclipses, earthquakes, OJs in the news. There's a lot of stuff going on in 94 to 2024. As someone that was on the call for those games in 94, how does this team shape up to that team? Because I feel like every time we talk about a good Rangers team, it always gets compared to 1994.